In this Star Wars Gaming news update video, I'm going to be sharing with you details on a potential unannounced Star Wars game that Disney may have just revealed. Before we do dive into all of today's news though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on Star Wars games. So, this is a bit of an odd one, because it involves Disney putting out a job listing about an unannounced Star Wars game by the sounds of it. However, it's not attached to any main studio that we typically would normally see. All of this began from the Associate Art Director Franchise Creative job listing on the Disney Careers website that was spotted by GameSpot. It's based out of Disney's Grand Central Creative Campus in Glendale, California, which is typically not known for making Star Wars games. This campus is for all things interactive when it comes to Disney. They don't just do video games, but they do a whole host of things, be it for the parks and other digital experiences. So this, again, is just a very unexpected place to get a Star Wars related job listing. Before we get into all of the nitty-gritty Star Wars details, I do want to mention that 9 months ago, there was an associate brand art director based out of Lucasfilm in San Francisco for the Disney Games team, and that has since been fulfilled. Given that it's for the Lucasfilm Games and Disney Games team, I feel like maybe this new job listing is related to that, but I could be wrong. That's just me speculating based on who's hiring and where it's based. Typically, we see art directors and associate art directors for games established within the studio that's developing the games. So, for example, there was an associate art director job listing up 4 years ago for the Star Wars Hunters team at the Austin Natural Motion studio that were helping the Brighton-based Boss Alien team as well as the London-based Natural Motion team on Star Wars Hunters. Gerard Miley was the associate art director on Star Wars Outlaws, and he worked internally at Massive, the main developer, and previously he was the associate art director on The Division 2, which was also made by Massive. So let's dive into what this job listing entails. So it reads, Disney Digital Entertainment is looking for a talented associate art director to join us on an ambitious and exciting new project. We are building an experienced leadership team that will set the direction for a groundbreaking new game experience that will herald the next generation of Disney to the world. It goes on to say the person that will get this role will inspire and inform our development teams to deliver the most authentic, world-class Star Wars experiences. They will help shape the overall visual direction and safeguard the IP integrity of Star Wars. So what this says is that they are currently developing a brand new, ambitious Star Wars experience or game. They use the word experience because it could mean video game, but also part of me thinks that maybe this is to do with the Disney Fortnite experience that will be happening at some point. Maybe this is in relation to that. That's just me speculating because it's not tied to a studio such as Massive or DICE or Respawn. The job listing goes on to say that they want someone who can maintain a deep understanding of Star Wars lore and stay informed about relevant additions and changes to the universe. So they actually want someone who knows their stuff when it comes to all of the canonical details about Star Wars. And they also want to make sure the work remains consistent and is authentic to the Star Wars brand. This person will also be collaborating with the Director of Art, the franchise creative team, and Lucasfilm's franchise and story teams to establish alignment on an overall vision and processes. In terms of required qualifications and skills, they specifically state they must have a broad and deep understanding of the Star Wars brand, including lore, design, aesthetics, and all of that is a must. Another requirement that I think is really interesting and is good to see is that they want a minimum of 5 years experience working on a Star Wars IP in games, TV, or film. So someone from a Star Wars game that has worked on Star Wars games for 5 years or more may end up getting this role. This is very interesting because it's not every day or every year we get something like this. This is one of those very rare job listings that actually offers something interesting, something that we did not know about. This is for what appears to be an unannounced title. Typically with job listings, be it for Star Wars Outlaws or the Respawn FPS game that never ultimately came to fruition involving a Mandalorian, we actually had details within the job listing saying, hey, it's for this project. Well, they aren't mentioning what this exact project is in this job listing. They were just saying it's going to be a new, ambitious, exciting project, experience, game thing. It does sound to me that this is likely a completely different thing that we've not heard of before. And that's exciting because it means even though we've had a bunch of games in development for quite some time that we've known about and we haven't heard anything on, they're at least still doing something new, potentially. And from this time, it's actually might be coming from internally at Disney, or they are going to be having a deeper integration with another studio to help assist them make whatever it ends up being. I really hope this isn't just for the Fortnite Disney Island world thing that they are currently developing. It could possibly be that, because we know for a fact there is going to be a big Star Wars thing right there. However, an associate art director tends to come in towards the start of a project because they're important to getting the overall look and feel of the game nailed down to a T, but at the same time, someone may have left and they may need someone to come in and fulfill that role until the project's completion. This could be very exciting, and I hope this is going to be yet another awesome Star Wars game that we do see and it doesn't end up getting cancelled, whoever the developer ends up being, or whether this is just going to be a very small project. I don't care. At this point, we should just be happy something comes out. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I've talked about in this video, so please do let me know down in the comment section below, and remember to drop a like to help support the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars news updates on games, and if you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.